All right. This time with more vigor. The Zitadelle 43 campaign. It's the turning point is long past where in 42, we could still make something out of our campaign, but 43, not this time. And we'll get to see what kind of ahistorical scenarios they got cooking up for us this time. Although, having a sneak peek at the mission tree makes it already highly suspect. I would say one part isn't, and the other part I find to be absolutely ludicrous. But we'll get to it later on. Zitadelle 43. With the front finally stabilized, the Wehrmacht leadership has set out to rebuild its armored forces for the 43 summer offensive, searching for a suitable target. They have found it in the Kursk salient, an area held by the Red Army that extended into the German lines north of Kharkov. After months of operations and weeks of delays, Operation Zitadelle will be finally launched in July. The world is holding its breath. Me too. Because without a doubt, this is not going to be an easy mission, or a campaign for that matter. Only 2 missions will be actually at Kursk or Zitadelle. Afterwards, it will take place entirely somewhere else, funnily enough. Right, this is actually exactly the same intro as it is for the Russians. Can I stop this? No. Yeah. And take Sicily they will soon enough. Soon enough. Pretty much. Yeah. That is true. Well, that's pretty bad. As before, let me just take a look at one thing, whether I'm recording actually. Okay, yeah, I'm good. Right, so we have 2 missions here. We have Zitadelle North and Zitadelle South. And Zitadelle South will be Panzer Army 4 and the 2nd SS Panzerkorps. Up north we have 9th Army. Currently looking to give them counterattack. I have to say, it's a bit sad to see them not even have rear guard counterattack and set piece. Well. Do I want to get the Heinkel 111 bomber or not? Flying artillery might be useful. Yeah. Then cannot buy Nickel 111. But at least having counterattack and rear guard for you will be probably quite critical for my armor in the south. Yeah. Alright, let's start with Zitadelle south here. July the 5th, 1943. The southern pincer of Zitadelle is the responsibility of the 4th Panzer Army and Army Group Kempf, with some of the best armored formations available to the Germans, including the Grossdeutschland division and 2nd SS Panzerkorps. Despite aerial reconnaissance reporting ominously well-fortified Soviet lines, the attack must start without further delays. If the northern attack fails, all hope will rest on this armored spearhead. Taking one of these objectives will enable you to put strategic plans into action. Oboyan or Prokhorovka. Weird that even Oboyan allows you to do that. You would think that you would need a successful Zitadelle for that, but no. Doing a half-assed attack is totally fine. We conducted preliminary attacks yesterday, and it has quickly become evident that the enemy is ready for us coming, so we're prepared for extremely stiff resistance. Our forces lack sufficient infantry reserves, so we'll have to rely mainly on our armored formations. Capturing Oboyan Prokhorovka as a secondary objective should deal a decisive blow to the Red Army. The diversionary attack towards Zavets remains a lower priority. Yakovlevo is turn 2. Great, there's mud there. Not the best. Let's get started. Actually, quite a few units of Army Abteilung Kempf. With just those 3 units spearheading the advance. Let's trash that little bad boy. These are already deeper entrenched. Would probably be best off. Poop. Rear guard. Now, they're not getting supplies through that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to get Yakovlevo turn 2. That cuts off these guys. That's pretty good. Doesn't mean that I can just go about and do whatever I damn please, but lowering the amount of enemy units. Seems to be a pretty good idea. Apparently can't really do a whole lot more there. Although the nice thing about reducing this is that the AI feels they're a bit weaker, which is always useful. That's fine. This is a airborne unit. And then they'll get a swath of units in turn 3. Really? That second guard's tank war is pretty rough there. Not gonna lie. Wow. No overrun. Given that I would like to have them be cut off as well. I have to be quite careful because units for the 4th Panzer Army don't have any abilities that will allow them to survive further out. Like these, and I actually think that the 31st Tank Corps and the 3rd Mechanized might actually try to launch a counteroffensive over here. Although you guys are not cut off. Huh. Still, then I would like to reduce their strength. But also block them from recrossing. So they'll be cut off, so that helps. You lose intel and engineering. Huh. Let's actually build that pontoon bridge. I think it will be quite useful. Should have moved them, though. to say that hurts. They'll be back 2 missions. Okay. Seems like that pontoon bridge kind of came to bite me in the ass there. So the thing is that if I get to Kursk, any units that they then deploy, in a sense, would be cut off, at least from that side. I have to say I'm not particularly enjoying this mod, but there. There's not much to be done. I don't know how often 4th Panzer Army will be back. I actually believe it will not likely be back at all, but let's just go for the free option here. No. That makes some of that stuff. Quite a bit easier. Now, the 10th Tank Corps cannot deploy. Rifle Division can. This 18th Tank Corps can also deploy. With this, the 5th Guards Mechanized technically wouldn't be able to deploy. The Let's see then. It actually worked very well, since all of those units will be cut off, so many of them will be able to attack one time, but a lot of them will be able to attack 0 times. We'll be on empty. Well, count me in. So I have to check though to see whether I guess I definitely need to beat this. So they cannot deploy the 18th Tank Corps or the 29th Tank Corps or the 42nd Guards, 5th Mechanized, these guards, these. Alright, they cannot deploy any of those units. Next turn, well, It is actually rather funny that they were able to cut off my units there. I have to guard it, but they can barely attack. Only these two can try to muster up something. I want them getting through the rear and being able to do all kinds of strange things. I'll repair that bridge. And should, like I said, be able to swing south now. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually gonna suppress these two. To negate the impact they will have. Don't really like seeing that though. Wow. Well. I'll kill them. Now, these do need to be killed as well. Kill you. I'll continue to go for free stuff. While trying to isolate Rzavets, I have to take and hold it by turn 6. Yeah, that's fine. Kill it. You in there. Actually moving you 1 hex to the back. All right. Better hope they won't get nasty with them. They'll be fine. I will move it closer. Okay. Kind of funny that it's still just an 0 and 2. But no matter. Kind of wanted to remove the step front here. These units that will be here longer definitely need the steps more than they do, so I'll be stripping them. Now it's just Adding insult. To injury, but I got some very powerful formations there now. Let's see, your elite. Let's move you out. You're already elite. You're also elite, and you're elite. You two. Regardless. Let's still try to have some fun here. And southwestern front is now also cut off. Pretty bad for them, but not so much for me. We got new cat debut. Complete Zitadelle south. Panther tanks made their first major Eastern Front appearance in the ranks of the Grossdeutschland division during Operation Zitadelle. Plagued by breakdowns and faulty parts, the grand opening of this big cat show was a bit of a flop. Well, not this time. Alright. Took both of the objectives in the south, not only Obion but Prokhorovka as well. Pretty much the entire Soviet front has been demolished in the south. Should be able to do Operation Zitadelle with just the south, would have been enough, but no. I have to do the north as well. So here I have to get both of them to rush the 2nd SS Panzerkorps to Italy. Now, basically, like I said, there are two ahistorical parts to this. The first one, rushing the 2nd SS Panzerkorps to Italy, is the one that I personally think makes a lot of sense. Despite it not being possible for the Germans to actually defeat the Soviets in Operation Zitadelle, if we assume that by some miracle they actually do make it and basically pocket those Soviet forces, are able to beat them before the Soviet reinforcements arrive, somehow they pocket, say, I don't even know how many units are in there. Let's just make some grand gesture. Say they pocket 400,000 troops and are able to destroy them. That's all well enough. It's not gonna, you know, do anything grand here. They'll have to put the second army on defense and basically leave it at that for the moment. Having done that, I do think that they could rush the second SS Panzerkorps to Italy. Like, I think that the crisis has been averted to such an extent at that point that they could release that corps and leave the rest of the armored units on defense. So then basically the Germans would still be retreating, like in the south, although they might be able to pull some armor over there after a successful operation. I also think the Soviets might be somewhat more hesitant to launch offensives after a successful Zitadelle. It doesn't change a whole lot, ultimately. I mean, it delays the Soviet victories for a bit. You know, maybe 2 months or 3 months delay at max, but I do think then they can send them away. So I think that's actually fairly legit. Seeing this one redeploy 9th Army to Leningrad is a lot more dubious, and I do not see how this is ever possible. Even, like I said, with a completion of Zitadelle, at best, some divisions from 9th Army, maybe 1 or 2, would be redeployed, most likely to either to the south or the Smolensk area, definitely not to Leningrad. There's no way that they would do that at this point. Really, I don't see how, but yeah, this one is the more ludicrous one, and definitely not even close to the realm of historical possibilities, but that's okay. You gotta make up something to make an interesting ahistorical campaign, I guess. Although personally, what I would have liked more maybe is some, let's just say, yeah, I guess if you're gonna fight in these areas in 43 again with just harder missions, maybe that'd be a bit boring. I like this one the most, rushing the SS Panzerkorps to Italy. I could see maybe better defensive scenarios in the north, like continuing 43 on the defensive for the Germans. Yeah, I would like that. But we would have to take Budanovka, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, you are, I guess, kind of well equipped. Did get a lot of prestige, that's nice. Either way, thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye.